Hi, everyone. I'm Brien Lundin of Gold Newsletter, and I am here at the Metals Investor Forum in Toronto, right before the big PDAC mining conference. The market is rollicking, the metals are rising, and now we're seeing the mining companies, the junior mining companies in particular, play catch up. So a lot of attention is being focused on the sector. A lot of money is coming into the sector, trying to look for the best values. One of the best values that I see in the market, one of the companies I'm most excited about in our Gold Newsletter portfolio is SunPeak Metals. It's a great pleasure of talking with Greg Davis here of SunPeak, President CEO. Greg, you are one, and your team are among the leading experts for exploring for BMS deposits and in the Nubian Shield, the Arabian Nubian Shield, but you've always been working in the Nubian Shield and sometimes in conflict zones, tough places to work. Yeah, but you've made discoveries. You have made big world-class discoveries. You're widely regarded as the top experts for that, and now you've been able to go over to the Arabian side of the shield. And really be on the forefront, the leading edge of exploration in an area that you've long had your sights set on and has a lot of historic production, but not really from the West. And you basically had open field running in this new regime. So tell us a bit about it and how this developed. And I know you're going to tell us how excited you are because it's really infectious when you talk about it.
Well, that's true. We've had our eyes on Saudi Arabia, on the Arabian Shield for over 15 years. And we've tried many times. We've tried to make inroads in Saudi Arabia. Every year at Mines and Money in London, I meet with Ma'aden and other delegates from Saudi Arabia. We have these great meetings. We'd introduce ourselves, our team, and what we've done on the Nubian side. And never were able to push it past that and acquire any projects in Saudi Arabia.
But it's now a different priority for the government, right?
Yeah, I guess it started with 2019, they changed the mining laws. So, but back then, a foreign company had to have a minority interest, 49% or less. But in 2019, they changed the laws. Now foreign companies could have 100% ownership. But it was a real lag time before that kicked in. And what changed it was mandated from the leadership of the country that we want to develop the mining industry, critical metals, as a third pillar of the economy, behind tourism, and then of course behind oil and gas, obviously. So that we were biting at the bit, and we saw a chance, and we jumped on it. We put together a significant land package. Again, very carefully, based on our experience, and we've really just shifted gears in the last few months, and now we've been actively exploring.
Now we talked not even a full month ago in Vancouver at the Metals Investor Forum there, and you were talking about work you were going to do, how easy it was to work on your prospects. You have a string of prospects now that you're prioritizing, but really from a geological prospecting standpoint, a lot of these targets are pretty obvious, right?
Well, they if they're Gaussians and they poke out of the ground, that's the easy part. But often the actual body could be offset. So we use geophysical techniques, both gravity, looking for the specific gravities, higher specific gravities in the ground, or EM. We're currently running ground EM, a very sophisticated system called the SQUID system by Crone Geophysics, and we're really happy with the results. We've already done 3 of our projects. We're going to go backtrack and continue to expand the conductors we've seen, all in advance of drilling, helping us to refine where our first drill holes are going to be.
And I'll get to that in a second, because it's amazing to me. Typically, you go into early stage exploration of companies, and it's a couple of years sometimes before they start drilling, permits and access and everything else. And you're literally driving up to these things in Land Rovers and prospecting on paved highways. But we were talking about, in our last talk, about some work you were going to do and results coming out. Tell us what we have coming up more immediately.
Well, I think when we last spoke, our first results from our exploration results from SunPeak in the country came out and it was gold samples and silver samples from Alahila, from
Yeah.
Gossan. And we were very happy because it was 650 meters long and strike length, up to 30 meters wide, significant gold and silver across the Gossan. And that's exactly what we wanted to see. Since then, we've continued to geologically map and prospect. And moving south, we have identified extensions, very, very significant extensions of that zone.
Oh, really? About how long?
Uh, Equal or larger
Oh,
of a
okay.
zone already identified.
Okay.
What we don't know yet are the assays. We've
Mhm.
taken over 200 samples at the surface. We've detail mapped it. We've come up with sort of a geological model. Assays will be probably a few weeks, up to 4 weeks out from today's date, so
Okay.
late March. But if they come back with similar gold and silver values, we'll be extremely excited. At the same time, we're doing ground EM on that zone to help refine our drilling. And one of the next announcements the next month or so will be that we've put together a schedule for drilling. And we're now aiming for Q2.
That is amazing to me. So to delineate targets on these prospects and get to the drilling point that quickly, and you can drill year round, or are you limited in?
You can drill year round.
What about the heat?
You got to be aware of the extreme heat in
Okay.
the summer, in the summer months, which are the same as North American, where it can be extremely hot. We've worked in those conditions before in Western Eritrea, where it was over 50 degrees Celsius. We're used to it, but it does slow things down.
Yeah.
You do have to minimize exposure outside for the crews, but you can work year round.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the government support, it's not just the mining laws, 100% ownership and making it a priority, but there's also potential financial support, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a grant program to encourage exploration, where for qualifying expenditures, you get 25% of your expenditures back each year. So we've qualified for that for 2025. We're now in the process of submitting for each license that we're doing this on our paperwork and expenses, and then it's quite remarkable. And we'll be doing the same program for 2026.
In your property portfolio, I think it's important for us to tell the audience how that came about, because you're on the forefront, and it's not necessarily that you had your pick of all the best projects, but it wasn't too far off from that. I mean, these projects were not chosen as points on a map. They all have some geological prospectivity to them.
That's right. We're only applying and going after licenses that we believe has potential to be an economic deposit. So that's why if you look at our map of where our projects are, they're kind of scattered.
How many do you have right now?
We have essentially 15 licenses.
Okay.
6 are granted. 7 of them are coming from the auction from last fall, which is probably days away, literally being finalized right now. And then we have 2 more applications that are working their way through the system. But ultimately, that's 15 licenses, over 1,200 square kilometers.
Wow.
Of carefully selected projects.
Yeah, so you pretty much had your pick going in there and are on the leading edge of Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, well, it happened deliberately by design. We moved fast, and we continue. We'll apply our methods and techniques and explore. We think we're going to be successful on what we have already, but we'll also continue to look ahead and add to our pipeline of projects by doing ongoing research. We have one geologist that all he does is research, scours old reports, old data going back decades, and then we follow it up on field trips where we go and investigate opportunities. And we'll continue to add to our portfolio that way.
For a geologist, it's like being a kid in a candy store, I would think, to some degree.
Yeah. Well, it's different. I mean, we're used to Africa, where you travel 60 kilometers from the town to the site. It could take 2.5 hours, rattling around on a road in disrepair, full of livestock and populated, and very, very slow. I crawl sometimes to get through some treacherous areas. Here, our teams get in the vehicle, they're air conditioned, there's drinks, they have connectivity so they can work, or they can text their friends or go on, read news, whatever. So everyone arrives very quickly at the site and they're rested.
Yeah.
It's a completely different environment, and it's just made for moving fast.
And speeds up the permitting process, going to drilling. So you're going to be knocking off these targets one after another. It's very exciting for me as a shareholder. You make me want to buy some more in the market. because there's big news coming up. It's kind of catching the market, I think, unawares how quickly you're progressing to drilling a string of really high priority, high potential targets in this new frontier of mineral exploration. Greg, thank you so much for sharing your enthusiasm with us today.
Of course.
Sun Peak Metals.
Thank you, Brian.